fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I'm going to talk about the power of one. Many of us don't think as one as a powerful number. It's all relative how we view one as being a powerful or not a powerful number. But I'm going to try to give some examples. I did research on it, and I'm going to share with you what my findings was of number one, or the power of one. Then I'm going to give you some examples as we go through the presentation. And at the end, I'll wrap it up and let you know your call to action. There has to be a call to action. There has to be a reason why we're here today. In my findings, I kept looking for individuals that made a difference. Individuals not just did great, but did great things when they encounter multitudes, huge amounts of circumstances that most people would not be able to deal with. Ben Hogan. Ben Hogan was, in his days, today, Tiger Woods. Ben Hogan had a great accident, car accident. He will be crippled for most of his life. It will be difficult for him to continue to walk. Yet, 12 months after, he won the Open, USA Open, and he won 5 more tournaments in golf. Ben Hogan did this. That's the power of one. My findings also found Wilma Rudolph. She was born with braces, and she wore braces most of her life. Yet, she became the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in the Olympics. But she was born with braces. How did she do that? The power of one. Bethany Hamilton. Since she was 5 years of age, she always wanted to be in the water. She was a great swimmer, and she loved surfing. Yet at the age of 13, a shark took one of her arms, discouraging anybody from ever going back to the water. Yet 8 months later, she goes back into the water, competes, and wins an Australian competition. She was rated number 1 in the world 3 years in a row, without an arm. The power of one. Ray Kroc. Most of you might have heard McDonald's, where Ray Kroc was the founder of McDonald's. Few people know that at the age of 52, he was diagnosed with diabetes. He had to go and get an operation, lost his gallbladder. 6 months later, he decides, I'm going to go open a little restaurant. And he started with 3 simple words. He said, I want to make sure there's quality, cleanliness, and service. And he stuck to that. And we all know about McDonald's. So all this made me think, what does one mean? What does the power of one mean? How can I use that in my life? I said, I like bowling. If I want to do a perfect 300 game, the averages, I started to find the odds. What are the odds of this happening to anybody? Well, the odds are that 1 out of 11,500, you'll get a 300 game. I said, well, that's kind of tough, right? How about lightning? Unless you live in Florida, but on an average, lightning is 1 every 576,000 times that you'll hit lightning. Those are the odds. What about our great President Obama, right? How did he become president? Well, if you want to be president, your odds are 1 out of 10 million that you'll be president in this world. That's a big odd. But it can be done. We've seen presidents out there. Then I think, well, I really don't want to keep working. How about the lottery, right? What if I want to get the lottery? What would that take? Well, the lottery is 1 in 175 million chance to win the lottery. The odds just keep getting higher and higher. I'm talking about the mega lot, right? Yet most of us don't realize, and I was so glad to get that message, because there's a lot of different messages, some sadder and some nicer that makes you realize and There's a family member that just got born into a Toastmasters family. Vicente just had a child. And I'm also happy to hear that because we all been listening to different turmoils that we're all going through. So it's good to hear some good news. And it made me realize, what are the odds of that? The odds that you are born in the same place, in this moment, in this time, for all of you to be sitting right here with your individual circumstances. The odds of that is 1 in 400 million. The odds of you being born is 1 in 400 million. That's an outstanding statistic. To have the same background, the same language, the same habits. It's 1 in 400 million. Those odds are bigger than anything I've just talked about. That's why the power of one is so important for you to know today. Because she was missing an arm, but that didn't stop her. It's not the lack of the arm that stopped her from winning or achieving. It's the lack of energy that we have that we are not using all the time. So what am I saying? How am I wrapping this up today? So much research, so much information. How can I put it just in one sentence? It's not what happens to us that affects us. It's our interpretation of what happens to us. So if we can get a better grasp of what happens to us, a better understanding, we can all have the power of one.